Hi, so this is Jarod from Adventures with
Yes.
Purpose.
Hi, how
How
are
are
you?
you?
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
for coming up.
Turn my volume up here. All right,
Yeah, I
you
was
got yours
thinking,
good?
yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear him okay, good egg?
Yes, I think so now.
Hey, anyway, you've been doing a good job putting out, your little live awareness in the world. You watch our stuff, don't like to throw people on the bus. Doing good. But from the get-go, Mike King first ran across, the private investigator. We do our best to work with everybody, family to law enforcement, private investigators, trying to find out as much information as we can to gather as much information as we can so that way we can help these families. And we do so, free of charge. We don't charge anything. One of the sad things that we have learned in this industry and why we made the decision long ago to never charge these families is because unfortunately there are people out there in the world that will con these families. We have seen it time and time again that families will mortgage their homes. They'll go into great debt. I mean, we're talking some, hundreds of $1,000s, and they'll actually end up losing their homes because they will do anything for that one glimmer of hope. We have seen other things too, such as families that they'll receive their like the reward flyers or pictures that they these con people find online to scam them with like fake duct tape around these Photoshop photos of like, hey, we have your lost loved one. You're going to send us 10, 15, $20,000, or else we're going to kill them. It's a people are sick out there, just plain and simple. And so anyway, so going back to that's why we as an organization from the very get-go, we made a call within the group that we are never going to charge these families. We do have a thing that, if a family wants to donate to us, we're never going to say no because we can take those funds, use those funds, and move forward to help the next family. Um, we use the YouTube and the Facebook platform. We call this a necessary evil, and part of that is if a family wants to participate and be recorded, we are documentary storytellers. So that way the next family can find us in the same way that this family found us. And so we have said, if we had unlimited funding, the unfortunate side of this is we would still have to be on YouTube. We would still have to make these videos so that way the next family can find us. That's kind of the rundown, and that's why we have chosen not to, ever charge these families. Once and only once have we ever received an actual reward that was given to us, and the reason for that one is the family kind of felt as though it was, I won't say blood money, but it was a money that was coming to them from insurance and that had been put together by others within the community. That they didn't feel as though it was right, that it served a purpose for it to be given to us so that way we can then use it to move forward to help other families. And sure enough, we used it in an appropriate way. And, fast forward, and here we are with an incredible track record that we have 23 lost loved ones that we have now brought home because of all of us coming together. That I've always said, all of us are AWP. We're all a part of the movement. We just happen to be the boots on the ground, the boats in the waters that get out there to help these families. And we appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of that with us. Coming back to this, I don't want to speak too much of it. Things were, recorded. Dr. Phil was there, captured Jim Terry and his comments on camera, as well as audio. We had several, 3 or 4 cameras going. Mike King ended up recording quite a bit of as well. We have text messages galore. I'm just going to say I'm going to say not one of the, but I'm going to say like probably the nastiest person I've ever ran across in my entire life, for somebody that is supposed to be there to help a family, to let's look at all angles. Like that's what we do. We think outside the box and we look at these angles of where could somebody be. This is why we have the what's the genre that we call it? This is the crime genre. This is the missing person genre, that we're all coming together as web sleuths to do
Right.
things, as neighbors, as friends, as an uncle, as a brother, as a dad. And in doing so, we do so free of charge as we would for our best friend. And, we're not going to solve them all. And one of the things that, really irked me about the entire thing, as he's on the phone and just being nasty and yelling at me and like, what's your success rate? Mine's 100%. And like, mine's 18%. And if you know anything about the 0.5% when it comes to missing persons and, for cold cases for detectives, and law enforcement solving them, I'm going to say that 18% is pretty good. He's like, well, that means that you have an 82%. Well, he said 80, 88. His math is off. But anyway, 82%, failure rate. We don't fail. We've never failed a family in giving them answers as to where their lost loved ones are or they are not. So 100% of the time, we put our heart into it to help these families 100% of the time. And with that, based upon a 5-mile radius of where were they last seen, where do they work, where do they go to school, or a cell phone ping, 5-mile radius, 18% of the time, we are able to solve these cases. We hope to continue to, do so, move forward, and help even more families into the future. In fact, we've been out working some this weekend, and we're doubling down this fall to where we have 2 teams that are now out there, again, because of this entire community and the support that we have, that, we're reinvesting these funds, and we're doing so appropriately. That we have 2 RVs, 2 trailers. We're leaving our families behind, and we're going to be working on 120 to 130 cases, a total of 200 days this year on the road, 200 episodes that you'll see us out there trying to help more families.
That's amazing. 23 cold cases solved. I think that's an astronomical number, because even if it's 1 compared to a family with a cold case, right, that's going to be life-changing. And I have heard that 18% derided by Jim in other interviews, which is insane. So that's actually really impressive. It is lower than 100%, but 100%, when 100% is imaginary and 18% is real, you have to take that into consideration. And I'm sorry you went through that, because I know that was probably a rough and emotional day for you guys without having the addition of this person acting that way. And that's how I feel about the families that he is doing this to. Dylan Brown's mother, they're dealing with the worst thing in their entire life. And then they have this level of just hatred and toxicity layered on top of that. The money isn't as important, I think, in the end. It's just what makes us as observers feel so offended by it. But Queen, I really appreciate you laying Jarod up here.
For another family, for another human being. At no point in anybody's lives should you, first of all, belittle and, bully them. Really, that's what it is, we've seen time and time again trying to bully us, Mike King, every family out there that he's ever ran across, unfortunately, that is just a nasty thing. But especially, a hurting family, they're dealing with, like you said, they're dealing with so much already that you're adding that toxicity and the negativity. And yeah, these families just don't have time for it. They have other things to be, worried about, such as what happened to their lost loved one.
Exactly. Thank you for restoring some of our faith in mankind.
Absolutely. Thanks for being a part of that and spreading awareness and the message of, who we are, what we're about. And, we would like to continue to call him out. I did let him know, if he needed proper spelling on my name, if he wants to cut me the check first, I'd be happy to then honor that and hand that back to the Hall families, so that way they can recover some of their cost. And, man of his word. I mean, man to his word is that sometimes that's all he has. And so, Jim, 20 grand. And I understand that you may have lowered it to 15 at one point. I may have even seen 10. So, I mean, if you spent some of it, not a problem. 10, let's get that back to the Hall family. And, if you don't mind giving them back all their money as well, I invite you to do that as well. So yeah, that's our request. And we hope that you can be a man of your word and honor that for us, for the family, help them out. And let's all move together and help out, continue to help out other families in the future as well.
Sounds great. So again, Jim, I think Adventurers with Purpose saying they're willing to accept any cash reward that you are going to be giving out for solving this case. And we appreciate you guys have so much going on. You are very busy and you have your own really large platform. And so I think that we appreciate you popping up here. Right, Queen? I don't know if we lost her.
I got things to do. I'm actually with family right now. I was just checking out the Terry updates.
Yeah.
Or I think more and more families are going to find out they should not be hiring him. And at the end of the day, here's the one thing that, we've dealt, and you may have heard this in some of our other stuff when a family says, what type of a reward should we put out there? 100%, I tell them, don't put any reward out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the day, it's not going to bring the right people to the case.
It sounds like an invitation.
And that, there's good people out there doing good things, and they're going to help you the best they can.
I think it's a great message. So thank you, Jarod. Thank you so much. I just learned about you through this, and I'm definitely going to keep following what